Boys, this is devastating news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of weeks now for it to have settled in for us all. But sadly, Sam Neill passed away, not cancer related. It was from pneumonia, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is must have been absolutely devastating for the family after getting through what he'd been through for the last few years. But yeah, absolutely devastated. I can't. This one shocked me a little bit more than the Richard Attenborough passing. I think it's because I don't know what. Maybe it's because at the time, he was 90 years old, wasn't he, Richard Attenborough? And he was
he'd been in a bit of ill health as well. Whereas this one was a bit more sudden. He's a lot younger, so.
And
I think
we were all just after the cancer clear. Well, remission, wasn't it?
So it was a bit of a shock one, wasn't it, boys? As everyone.
Do you know what though? I've had pneumonia myself, and obviously it didn't go as far as what it did with Sam Neill, but like I was like incredibly ill with that. Like it was pretty at one point pretty touch and go, like in the first kind of 24 hours, but like it's not a nice thing to have. I'm always ill.
You are ill.
I was thinking that you're always ill.
You're always ill.
I'm still anyone out of all of us who would have had pneumonia, it would be you.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
But Mike, how was that news for you, mate?
It was quite shocking. I mean, I knew that he had his cancer treatments, and I knew that he was in remission, but it didn't even twig with me that because of his treatment that his immune system would be so low.
Yeah.
So to hear that he's basically passed away from pneumonia, I mean, it's exactly the same condition as what Jim Henson passed away with as well. So it's gut wrenching, is what it is. It's really gut wrenching. I was never lucky enough to meet him, and I always hoped that he would be one of those cast members that I would actually be able to meet someday. But
no, I've always thought that about even like a Comic Con or something like that.
Yeah.
I always wanted to meet Sam Neill.
Well,
Chris.
Yeah, gutted. I mean, again, it's not just from Jurassic Park, and I'm sure we're going to touch on this later, but like a lot of the other movies that people don't necessarily know him from as much and maybe think, oh yeah, I forgot about it, he was in that. Like I've watched a lot of them films that we'll probably touch on later, but yeah, like I remember waking up in the morning at first and I thought, is this like AI slop? Is this someone just having a bit of a laugh? And then there was more posts and then Sky News and stuff, and then I was just like, yeah, it was a bit gutting really. But again, like a bit like you said, it wasn't like the Attenborough one. Like it was a bit different than that, I think.
Yeah. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredibly shocking. It was incredibly sad. I remember waking up on the Monday morning. It came out that he'd passed away, and I wake up in the morning and check my phone as I always do, and right at the bottom from Sky News said Jurassic Park actor Sam Neill has died. And I just remember saying out loud, no, and then you go straight to social media and you see all the posts on there, and I just remember, like, I'm not going to lie, like, I have shed a few tears. Not the day he passed away, but over the last sort of few days, watching videos from him on his farm, especially, it just hit home like how precious life is. And touching upon what you were saying about the pneumonia, obviously, as you boys know, I've had cancer myself, so I understand how your immune system could be compromised, especially after chemotherapy, and it is. But that's what shocked me so much, because he got the all clear from the cancer he had. So when it came through that he had passed away, it was shocking because we thought he had a clean bit of health. But when it came a few days later that it was pneumonia, I wasn't too surprised it was something like that, because unfortunately, when you have had cancer and you've had a lot of chemotherapy, which he inevitably did have, your immune system is just never the same after that, and it can take genuinely years for your body to sort of recover. And I think we forget that he was 78 years old, and when you're sort of that age, your body's sort of against it anyway. So I mean, it's just really sad. I've seen this like a childhood hero of all of ours. Like, yes, we love dinosaurs because of Jurassic Park, but I think Sam Neill, Dr. Alan Grant is also a massive reason why we fell in love with dinosaurs and fell in love with Jurassic the way we did. So it's just incredibly sad, and making rest in peace.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah, just basically explain what Matt said, really. Like, I can't disagree with any of that. He literally, apart from Rexy and Hammond, you think of Jurassic Park, it is Sam Neill, it is Alan Grant. You see that blue shirt, the old red handkerchief over the neck thing. You know, he is probably one of the faces of Jurassic Park that you go to, and yeah, it's a huge loss.
Yeah, for me, it's a connection to the franchise. I like, as much as Ian Malcolm is the connection as well. When I see Alan Grant, I think that's what represents that franchise as the face of it. And he, 6 years old me in the cinema, I wanted to be Sam Neill in that movie. Tim's like awestruck over him. He's like, real. It was us as kids watching that film in the cinema, and like when obviously Jurassic Park 3 came around, I was devastated that he weren't in the second movie. Like, I liked Malcolm, but his sort of humour side of things as a kid you don't quite get. You more enjoy Malcolm's character as an adult, I think, more than a kid. So where Sam Neill's character, you kind of looked up to him as like the man, the dinosaur man that knows everything, that can keep you safe. Like, he got those kids through Jurassic Park, so then you automatically think, right, Sam Neill's the man. And when he went in the second film, I was a bit gutted, but seeing him back in Jurassic Park 3, I was really happy. And he makes that film what it is, really. Without Sam Neill, I think Jurassic Park 3 just wouldn't be the same movie, would it?
Yeah, agree.
I mean, it was him who made me want to be a paleontologist when I saw him just brushing the bones, and I thought it was that easy. And I thought, all I need to do is brush a bit of bones, and I found a full skeleton like that. It's
done.
we're meant to be. But do you know what, though? Even though, like we're talking here, on my desk here, I've got the Lego T-Rex, and with the Lego T-Rex comes a little Sam Neill. So always on my desk, I've always got like a little tiny Lego Sam Neill.
Nice.
It sits on my desk. So yeah,
Nice
be forever
job.
in Lego form.
Yeah, so moving on to like you mentioned that you wanted to talk about some of the other things that Sam Neill did other than obviously Dr. Alan Grant, which is why we're on this podcast. But some of the other movies he's done and TV shows as well. What's some of everyone's favourites?
Daybreakers is one of mine.
I haven't seen that personally.
For those who haven't seen it, quick summary. It's just basically it's an alternative vampire movie where instead of the minority being vampires and everyone else being humans, nearly all the world are vampires and there's very few humans left. So it's how they survive and how they have to kind of keep feeding and stuff like that. It's a really, really good film. And he plays a really, really, one of the few times I've seen him play a baddie in most films. It's really good.
Really? Yeah. Mike?
So I've got two. The first one would be I think it was his follow-up from Jurassic Park, which was Event Horizon, which was my first introduction to horror, and seeing Sam Neill's character being in a villainous role towards the end of the movie. And then after that is Bicentennial Man, where he plays a fantastic co-collaborator with the late Robin Williams as well. So you've got his Robin Williams humour and Sam Neill just on camera. It was amazing. But those two really stick out for me.
Matt?
I've not actually seen many movies that he's actually been in, apart from the Jurassics, but I've seen him in Peaky Blinders. He was in the first season of that, and he played a baddie in that, and he played that very, very well. And if you haven't seen Peaky Blinders, not just the first season, but the whole series, I recommend it. It's a brilliant watch. And recently, last year, I watched him in something on Netflix called The Untamed, where he was a sheriff. There's basically up in I can't try. It's like a park in America. In fact, it's one of the buildable places in Jurassic World Evolution 2 and 3. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me now. But there's a lot of unexplained deaths going on out there, and basically he's like the main focal point to the story, because I don't want to give it away if anyone wants to watch it, but in the end, it turns out that he's part of it, sort of thing. And he played that incredibly well too. So again, so movie wise, I haven't really seen him in too much. I've seen him in Daybreakers, what Chris was on about, but series wise, yeah, he's been in really a couple of really good shows that I would recommend anyone to go and watch.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many for me that I've actually seen, if I'm honest. Steve, I'll talk about mine in a minute.
Yeah, so I've watched, like I said, about the same. I've watched the Peaky Blinders, and he was really good in that. Did enjoy that, but also it was in a film, Hunt for the Wilder People.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's the one I was going to talk about.
Yeah, which is a surprisingly good film. Like, I wasn't expecting much when I saw, like, obviously, like, Sam Neill was in it, and that's the reason why I watched it. And I wasn't expecting much from it, but it's actually a really good film. And then I think the kid because the kid gets, I think his like mother-in-law dies, or his mum dies or something, wasn't it? And he goes into the woods, and I think Sam Neill is his job to bring the kid back, or at least.
Yeah, he plays like a ranger or something, doesn't he? I remember there being like obviously wild boars and things that they had to deal with.
Yeah, and he's the kid from Deadpool 2, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So no, it's a really good film to watch. So if you do get a chance, definitely watch it.
Yeah, I think that film was one of those ones where, like, it wasn't a huge budget, so it didn't really make. I think it was more of like a New Zealand national movie rather than going through Hollywood and getting like the numbers. I think if that came out today, it might probably get a bit more showing because of obviously social media spreading the word, a bit like Primitive War did. But obviously, it must have had a little bit of a budget to get Sam Neill to be cast as the main role. But it was good because it was almost like a refreshing take of like Sam Neill in a fedora in the middle of a jungle.
Yeah,
it kind of felt very Jurassic Park, even though it was nothing related to dinosaurs at all. And it was just nice to see that aesthetic again on screen, even though, we didn't get it really. And
it was one of those like, happy, easy watches, wasn't it? Like, you left the film thinking like, okay, nothing major happened. There's no thing you can talk about, but you left it thinking, okay, that was a good film.
Yeah, it was
you
quite
left
decent.
Smiling. Yeah,
absolutely.
I remember him being in Hunt for Red October as well with Sean Connery. He was in that, and he was also had that cameo in Thor Ragnarok, didn't he?
Yes, he was.
Actor for Odin, yeah.
He was in Thor's. What's Thor's world called?
Asgard.
Asgard.
Yeah, he was in Asgard, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, there was one other thing that I actually was going to mention. He was in the Jungle Book movie from 1993. He played who's Lannister in what's her name? In Game of Thrones. Who's the Queen? Cersei plays Cersei's actress's dad in Jungle Book. Jungle Book's Mowgli's love interest in the movie. He plays her dad that goes on.
Oh
he
my
takes
God.
her.
I thought you were saying Sam Neill plays Mowgli's love interest.
No.
What is that?
Different type of snake in that jungle, but
didn't think he'd done any of them movies.
He plays the dad of the Mowgli's love interest that goes to India to get this jewel from King Louis's temple or something like that. It's kind of a take on the original story from Jungle Book. It's really good. I loved it. I grew up watching that movie loads. And Sam, but I didn't really, because I wasn't really like knowing of actors' names back when I was a kid. So I kind of didn't really, oh my God, that's Alan Grant. And it was just, noticed it as I got a bit older. Like, oh my God, that's Sam Neill. Bit mad. That one. And did you guys ever watch a TV show on Apple TV that was like an alien?
Yeah.
What was that called?
Invasion.
He literally, I was gutted. He was in it for like 2 episodes and gets killed off. I was like,
that one.
But some of the, I mean, I love everything. I can't think of anything I've watched that Sam Neill's been in that I've not liked the role he's played. he's absolutely killed everything he's done. So it's like,
Have you
he's been
watched any of
so-
his YouTube videos where he's playing his like little ukulele and stuff?
Yeah, I love all his social media stuff. That's what makes him
Yeah.
such a special guy, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
all of the stuff on the vineyards, and he talks about his little ducks and chickens and cows and names them after famous people he knows. And I don't know, it just says a lot about him as a bloke and how nice he
It's
must
even
have
that
been.
thing that I posted in chat. Well, I think it was the day after he died, where he'd done like a quick interview on like his porch in New Zealand, like about couple of weeks before. He was just saying like all the war should stop, we should all get along. It was just a really nice video. Like he couldn't have foreseen what was going to happen, so you know, a kind of a last message or anything. So
Have you guys looked into his wine?
yeah,
I know it's called Two Paddocks. That's about the extent of it.
I don't know how much it costs. I would be tempted to get one.
I was actually going to go to his vineyard when I was in New Zealand, because my one thing for when I was there was to try and find him, just to say hello. Well, I was there for a year.
You little
and I never-
stalker.
Still never, yeah, Sam Neill stalker, but I never actually got around to finding it.
James
To be
Ronan.
fair, I think he lives in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
So
I think
they
the
take-
cheapest bottle you can get is about 36 quid.
Okay, so it's not like horrendously bad. I mean,
No.
but I think the problem is
He'll-
shipping,
he'll-
isn't it?
It'll be the shipping that's going to be the real crux of it.
It's not too
Yeah,
bad,
it'd be
9
nice.
quid.
It'd be a nice little Christmas present, wouldn't it? Get older son. I was going to say, James Ronan from the Jurassic, obviously, community, he was lucky enough to meet him. And he says he was such a nice guy. He was chatting to him for a while. And, you know, like sometimes when you meet your stars, meet your heroes, they don't always live up to expectations. He said he really did. And that's always nice to hear. Like, he got to experience something like that. That's one thing I always wished I'd have done, is gone to one of these, like, they tend to be a lot more in America, don't they, than over here. They don't normally travel over here for those sort of press things. But if I was obviously in America, I probably would have made a bit of an extra effort to try and get out and meet the cast members. But yeah, no, it's a shame. But sad times. So now we've finished, obviously, talking about the late Sam Neill, who is a hero to all of us. I think we should just finish off this podcast with just a bit of like Jurassic sort of general chit chat on like what's going on. Where are the dinosaurs? What is happening?
If it's anything to go by from the latest article that I saw, I think it might have been 4 or 5 weeks ago, it sounds like they've kind of like painted themselves into a corner with where they want to take the direction of this franchise now. It's a little bit concerning. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt, you
Seems
were
like
saying
Mr.
quite a lot to me about that, weren't you?
Yeah, obviously, I'm referring to what Mike's on about. It sounds like Mr. Cap sort of wrote himself into a corner and don't really quite understand how to, or know really how to get himself out of it. But the thing is, Colin ended Dominion with a whole host of stories that could have been told, and for whatever reason, with Rebirth, they decided to go back to an island setting, and it's just completely pigeonholed themselves, really, for a better phrase to use. So it's frustrating for them. It's frustrating for us as fans, because naturally we want more movies, we want more content. But when you have that opportunity to tell as many, like the stories that was like there to be told, there's like an endless supply, really. And now it's just like, oh, okay, we're back to an island, and what can you do? That
No,
He's
we lost
Matt's
Matt.
dropped off.
But he's made a few good points though. Like Kep did actually, he did do that, and he did end up making this story almost obviously back to the islands again. Back to the island, sorry, I should say. He's gone. We'll have to when he's back. Oh, there we go. There he is. Yeah, he made some good points. Like, where do we go with this? I mean, we can go back to, what's it called? What's the island called?
Safety Bear.
Sauna.
No, what is this island called?
Oh, I don't know.
Hubert, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, we can go back there, and I mean, there's so much like animals to explore and see what's going on, of course. So we can just go back there, and I guarantee we could always. There will be a plausible reason. They could find a plausible reason to go back, but
Yeah.
it will feel probably a bit like treading on the same territory. A little bit,
For
I
me,
guess.
I think the only realistic, so the plausible reason to go back there is obviously the girl whose name escapes me now took the little Aquilops from the island back home, didn't she? If that carries some sort of disease, which is obviously a danger to mankind, they're going to have to go find a cure. So they're going to have to go back because there's no dinosaurs left on the mainland, really. So they're going to have to go back to this island where this animal has originated from, and that's how they're going to have to find a cure. That's the only realistic reason I could see them wanting to go back. Otherwise,
that's almost though the rebirth storyline, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to go back to the island to get the blood from the dinosaurs.
yeah,
just
that's the problem.
humans.
Yeah,
The problem is now they've done the island thing too much, where again they're just telling the same stories over again. If they come back to the mainland, they've done 2 videos, a little bit more if you count Lost World in that as well. So, you know what I mean? It's just they're running out of ideas now, and there's just nowhere else for it to go. Like, unless we go to Jurassic World in space, that's the next frontier.
Jurassic World in space.
The
I remember
frustrating
how
thing-
excited we
the
were
only-
with
the
Fallen
only other
Kingdom,
thing they will
like
do
coming
is
off
go
the
down with
Nublar.
human hybrids.
Hold on, you're both talking at the same time here. What's
Oh,
going
sorry.
on?
Okay.
Yeah, go
Go on,
on. I just remember like how excited we were back in 2018 when we finally got the dinosaurs off the Nublar onto the mainland, and obviously we know Dominion wasn't really what was promised, but you got them off the island, and so you weren't sort of restricted to those sort of settings. You weren't isolated. Like they went global. You could have went anywhere. You could have done anything. And now we've put them back on an island, and it's what do we do? Like, believably, like how do we get them? Why would anyone want to go back there? First and foremost,
I always think that if these, I mean, I think they want to get these trio back together, don't they? I mean, if we're going to do it, and it has to be this franchise, this part of the franchise going forward again. I mean, in the day, a Jurassic movie is still going to make 700 million, right? So the money situation, I think they just need to not even worry about. It's whether people are going to be interested in it or not. It's now getting to a point where the story has to be captivating, and like, I don't know whether enough people by the end of that film come away thinking, like, did they think, okay, if it ended now, I don't, you know, like when Jurassic World ended, it finished on a point where it could have finished there and nothing else could have been made, and it could have been left up to the the imagination. But when we found out that they were making a sequel to Jurassic World, our minds went a little bit mad. We was like, yes, they could do that. You've got like what could they do? Like, now the park's shut. What happened to them pteranodons? Have they just flown off into, like, do you know what I mean? Like, our minds went a little bit like all over the place, and what we got obviously was nothing what we expected. But with this film, like, the only thing I can go with is they're going to try and head towards that cure for heart disease and run with that story. But then I don't know how that becomes a dinosaur movie again. That's the only problem with that.
Yeah.
See, the way I thought they were going to go was, or the way I think the only other 2 ways they can go is, one, human hybrids, which I don't want to see, and the second one is weaponization of them in the mainland. So we've talked about this before, where we see them in the jungles again, but like similar to how the raptors were controlled in the first one in Jurassic World. Like, they're using those in real life war situations and stuff like that. That's the only other direction I see them going in.
But that to me isn't a family movie. Like, that's a really niche type of audience that it's not like, you know.
That's what I mean. They've done everything else that I can think of.
Like family, like your extended people that aren't nerds and into this stuff like we are, aren't gonna be interested in seeing dinosaurs with guns attached to them. Like, I know for a fact my wife would have no interest in that whatsoever. So it was kind of, I think that'd be a dangerous game for them to do. I mean, I didn't realise. Maybe we don't put enough faith into the writers. Like, I didn't think they'd come up with an idea of a whole new island again. Like, that completely came out of nowhere. Like, I was expecting either them to go to Sanctuary Island, that what's his face spoke about, Lockwood, or them to go back to like Isla Sorna or something like that if they were going to go back to an island again. I didn't for a second think they'd make up a whole new island full of
But they can't keep
mutated
doing that.
dinosaurs.
But it's easy
Isn't that
to
quite
do.
worrying though? The fact that
What's
Trevor, like, isn't that quite worrying though? That like Colin, he left the menu with, like, everything was open source. Like dinosaurs were global all around the world.
Yeah.
And David Kep could not come up with one single good idea to follow that on. So he thought, no, I'll just do what we did in 1993, 1997, and 2001.
Yeah.
We'll put them straight back on an island, or we'll make a few people go to an island where, I mean, it's.
But is that just
For
like
me, it's
unmanaged,
silly
is it?
because now there's like, even through David Kep's own words, they're struggling to come up with a realistic way to get people back onto the island. They're struggling to find a way to make a second film.
Do you know what? By 2040, it's going to be like the 12 deaths because they're just going to keep adding island and island and island.
Yeah,
To suit whatever they need.
got rid of
Steve, you was going to say
Nublar
something then.
for a new island. It's silly.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's unimaginative, isn't it? So it's like you said that David Kep couldn't think of anything to do with what Trevorrow finished off in Dominion. But it's like, surely there can be. If dinosaurs are global, why do we then need to revert back to, the past 4 films that we've seen, and repeat everything previous? Come up with something new. Like, the dinosaurs are global. That's got to be terrifying enough.
The frustrating thing from my perspective is, it's come from this as a storyteller perspective, is that even if you had this island, it doesn't matter if dinosaurs aren't on the mainland or not. It's still an island. It's still that entire global scenario of dinosaurs still being there does not affect what happens on the island. So you still could have had this film take place on the island. It's just now that rather than saying, oh, well, we can't have this world with overrun populations of dinosaurs interfering with the ecosystems, let's just whitewash all that out and then we can start afresh with this. Because for me, by having all these dinosaurs around on the mainland, you could have opened up TV series, you could have opened up short films, you could have opened up spin-off films, all taking place around the world. Now you've isolated themselves back onto one small island, which, as we've all said, what are they going to keep going back for? There's only so many things you can go back for, unless they're going to think, oh yeah, we can do something with the D-Rex now. What else?
Why couldn't it have been something like Planet of the Apes?
Yeah,
Like, that whole trilogy, story arc of those films were brilliant.
exactly.
That's
such a brilliant trilogy.
Yeah.
The new movie was superb as well
Yeah.
because it explored. It was set 100 years later. Did you get round to watching the newer film?
I haven't seen the new film.
No,
Kingdom, was
the new film was set 100 years after the humans had gone almost extinct. So the world was believed by the apes that the humans weren't around anymore. So any humans that were around almost de-evolved back into more of like a primal state, and the elves and the apes were like almost have replaced the humans as in the hierarchy of how civilization was. And it was a really interesting concept of it, and I actually thought the film was excellent. The CGI was great. I was really, really impressed with the new movie. I mean, that is something they could do. They could take a time jump. I mean, it'd mean not having the same characters and starting a whole new cast members again, because that's the only way that would work. 10 years has gone by since the cure of Jurassic, the heart condition thing. 10 years has gone by. Blah, 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 XYZ has happened. That's something they could do. But for me, personally, I would get Colin Trevorrow back on board as a producer and a story, like, what would you call that? Consultant. Yeah. Keep. I've got no issues whatsoever of who's the director? Gareth Edwards being director again, because I loved the way he filmed that movie. The movie was absolutely stunning, so I've got no problem with that whatsoever. And he can only do what he can with a script, can't he? That he's given. So
Exactly. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And I've got no problems with him whatsoever. I love the way the movie was filmed, and I think getting them two together would be good, because I feel like at least with Trevorrow, as much as what he's done, some people didn't like. I'd rather have it a bit more consistent still. I'd rather have that consistency of something that we know we're already, accustomed to. And I think if Colin got back involved again as a consultant, we could go back in time and fill in some gaps that we've never seen before, even rather than going necessarily forward. Because I think, unless they're going to time jump, I don't know what they can do with this island. Another 10 years' time, a lot can happen, especially on the mainland. The dinosaurs could have gone all extinct by that point. And then it goes full circle of we need to protect these last remaining dinosaurs. And I don't know. I've never been a fan of protecting them. I've always seen them as like, shoot her.
Moving
instead.
monsters.
Yeah, moving. I don't want them to be protected.
Do you know what? Even if they give us like a decent TV show, even if it focused on something like all the ones that were sold at auction in Fallen Kingdom, like where did some of those go to? Where are the stories behind where they went to? Are they on a ranch somewhere causing chaos? Just stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a tough call. Go on.
Go on, Dave.
No, I was just to say I just don't really know where it's going to go. The game's still waiting for that game to get any news update on Jurassic Park Survival. That's another whole nother conversation. Yeah. Evolution's kind of died a death as well, because I've kind of lost interest in that now.
So there is the Rebirth DLC coming for Jurassic.
That's already out, isn't it?
Is it out? No,
Evolution's been out. It's been out months. Yeah,
a month now.
It's been out a month.
Jesus, all right.
So
well,
that's what I mean. It's not really. It's just not. It's not really been like the excitement level's kind of gone a little bit, isn't it? And I don't know if it's because it's just kind of been overexhausted, or we've just not had a compelling story enough. I'm a nostalgia person though. Like I'd lap it up all day over new ideas. I'd quite happily go back to Sauna or Nublar post eruption and see something that has survived. Do you know what I mean? That'd excite me more. That'd excite me more. Life has found a way.
In my opinion, they never should have come out with a whole new island. It should have been Sorna, or at least one of the 5 deaths. But for me, preferably would have been Sorna. They didn't need to come up with a whole new island that no one had ever heard of until last year. But I think the gripe I've got with it is the fact that, it's like Mike said, they could have done Rebirth but still have dinosaurs on the mainland. I think because they chose to kill off dinosaurs on the mainland just to fit this movie's narrative. I think that's where my gripe is with it, because in my opinion, you didn't need to kill them off.
Yeah, it shot himself in the foot with it, and they've really got to backtrack now, but without obviously backtracking and treading over stuff that's already been retconned in places already. They need to go with this story that they've set now, but somehow not make it look too much of a shambles. It is worrying, but at the same time, there's still no confirmed movie yet. So I guess we just got to take it as that's the last movie and that's how it's set.
Yeah.
For now, but anyway, guys, we're gonna end it there after the car's gone past. Never mind. I don't know when the next time we're going to be on. Hopefully another chat at some point soon when we get some more news.
We've got end of what's it called now?
Oak Street.
The dinosaur film. End of Wall Street.
Yeah.
End of Wall Street.
End of Wall Street.
End of Wall Street. Yeah.
At the end of Oak Street. We're all going to see that.
End of Oak Street. There we go.
I definitely want to go and see that. So that'd be nice.
We'll come back for that.
We'll come back for that. Oh, until next time, boys. Only one thing left to say. Life.
Whoa,
that was awful.
That was shocking.
Let's try again.
We're well out of practice.
2, 3. Life
will
find
a way.
What the hell?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.